Hello everyone, I am that Critic Kid, and I am absolutely Scott-tacular. Okay, I admit I haven't been able to think of a cool moniker for myself or get myself a decent name, but I did at least transfer myself from the side to the centre of my room where the lighting is now more evenly spread out. Yes, I didn't fancy making self-deprecating remarks about my shoddy lighting in my future releases. And what is this? Wow. A mirror in my background. It is this sort of creativity and originality that is going to set me apart from all the other movie critics on the net. So, with that in mind, what am I looking at today? Apparently I'm looking at an animation adaptation to the story of the Titanic. So the movie begins and, hold on a moment, have I accidentally sat on my remote control and hit the skip chapter button? And is there something wrong with my computer? It looks like it's suffering from a serious case of lag. Well, no, and no. The film actually does begin with the sinking and the destruction of the ship, this lady rowing, and Dalmatians crying? And it's not computer lag, it's the frame rate. It's quite lacking. Oh, what? Have I screwed up and accidentally copied and pasted that clip? No, I didn't. The film actually uses that twice. Yep, get used to the repetition because this film has no shame in cutting corners and reusing a sequence that shortly after its original screening. So get used to the repetition. So we jump back in time to see a load of poorly traced Disney characters boarding the Titanic. This is the badly traced Cruella de Vil with her bumbling henchmen, except in this they're not chasing Dalmatian skin, they're just common jewel thieves. And apparently we have animals boarding the ship as well, as we see in this clip here, stolen from An American Tail. I would also say that these characters were stolen from An American Tail, but you see, this is the character from An American Tail. This looks like the work of a bored child. Back to the human characters, and here we have some rip-offs from the Cinderella story.
Closed properly, you clumsy girl. Pick up those bits of broken china at once, then...
Except the stepsisters in Cinderella didn't have their nasty characteristics pushed to the point where it became illogical. Meanwhile, over with the mice family...
What Fritz about her?
Just the snack I'm looking for.
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now in someone else's digestion.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Okay, ignoring the fact that the animal's mouth movements and the raps are awfully synced. What the fuck is this? What is this? How have we gone from a mouse expressing gratitude to this inane and abominable rap number? This time-displaced bullshit has just come from the depths of bumfuck nowhere, and then within this, out of nowhere, we have this bit of slapstick involving a chef. This is just sheer randomness emanating from sheer randomness. I just cannot believe that anything could be so random. Whoa, look out! Oh. Whew. Almost hit a tractor there. You've got to be careful when you review and drive. Do I really need to review this any further? I could simply say, Titanic, the legend goes on, features a rapping dog, and leave it at that. I'm sure you can deduce for yourselves what this movie's about. But of course, if I don't continue this review, I won't be able to claim my fame. So let us proceed, and let me just warn you that the nonsense we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, it is ingenious and relevant puns like that that are gonna launch me to the top! Elsewhere on the ship, Cruella de Vil tries to teach her bumbling henchmen how to steal by trapping their hands in a bag. That's an interesting teaching technique. They then tried to carry out their learnt techniques in what is completely unintelligible crap. It just makes you scratch your head wondering what on earth is going on. And because this film just can't get enough slapstick, we also have some humorous antics going on in the kitchen between this mouse and this chef.
He catches fire and then a colleague of his tries to extinguish him with invisible whiskey. Oh dear. These many scenes of clumsiness are somewhat indicative of how the story flows. There are several stories all packed clumsily together where nothing gets to develop properly to a point of coherency. One of these stories is a poor rehash of the love story in Cameron's Titanic, only due to time constraints it is rushed to a point where it's actually frightening. This is what William says on their second meeting together.
Now that I've found her, I'm not going to let her get away from me again.
Another weak story worked into this convoluted mess is that the main character here has had a locket handed down from her mother, who she's been estranged from. I wonder if she's going to find her on this ship. Meanwhile, with the Horace and Jasper knockoffs, well, it was so funny the first time, why don't we have another getting your hand stuck gag? Meanwhile, while this singer with huge knockers sings a song that is no doubt inspired by Celine Dion's song, the two love interests profess their love to one another even though this is just their third meeting. There's even a pathetic montage with the other whopping 2 times they've spent together. Of course, this doesn't go down too well with the jealous stepsisters who are irate about this and demand that the stepmother make Angelica miserable again. But Angelica's animal friends are going to treat us to some hilarious hijinks. Did I say hilarious hijinks? I meant asinine bullshit, as the stupid mouse with the unidentifiable accent makes faces and gets the stepsisters to get into a bit of a ruckus. This fat stepsister falls into a chair and then bounces like a bowling ball and knocks the stepmother and other stepsister down like pins. Just goodness. Unfortunately, the ship hits an iceberg which inconveniently interrupts the fun and games. Even the animals get caught up in this great turmoil. Due to the fact that the movie only has about 10 minutes left to go, lifeboats immediately begin levitating downwards, and the third-class passengers break through the metal door in seconds like it's paper. And whoa, is that? It is! It's the granny from Sylvester and Tweety! Really, movie? Really? You couldn't just leave it at pillaging numerous Disney characters, that you actually had to go after Warner Brother characters as well? So Mrs. McKnockers plays with a band to try and calm everyone down, kinda like in that other movie. And we've come full circle to the beginning of the film as we can see the passengers rowing.
I wonder what happened to my poor tiger.
You had a tiger on board?
Whoa, what is going on with that person's voice?
You had a tiger on board?
Oh my goodness, it was a man. Seriously, movie, can you not get anything right?
Those horrible creatures are making faces at me!
Well, maybe you're bothering them.
Okay, now the character sounds like an old English woman. Does this ineptitude know no bounds?
Sit over here.
Oh, well, it's nice to see that not even a tragedy of this magnitude can keep this trapping your hand in a bag humour at bay. So on one of the lifeboats, the estranged daughter and mother meet up and reunite. What are the odds? But who cares about that? We want to know what happened to the cute animals, right? Well, they escaped. How exactly? The movie didn't bother to explain, and oh my word, the chef is in a saucepan. Really? Are you sure that's tasteless enough, movie? Why don't you just have them get rescued by dolphins while you're at it? Oh, piss off! Oh my goodness, this movie is just... I didn't think they could do it after the rapping dog, but they just sunk to a new low. The only thing that's getting me through this torturous ordeal is my excellent puns. But only they can do so much to mitigate this insufferable garbage, so let's just cut to the chase. They pull William aboard. Apparently hypothermia doesn't exist in this universe and he's miraculously just fine. But then the lifeboat just suddenly capsizes and everyone drowns. Sadly not, but I like to believe that's what happened because it brings me just a little bit of solace. In actual fact, the movie just ends on that note there, on that kiss, and everyone survived with no fatalities. Ugh. But at least the movie is over. And that is an almighty relief. That was just horrendous in every conceivable way. And it might interest you to know that that was actually the second attempt at doing an animated version of Titanic, the first one being The Legend of Titanic, that came out in 1999, and as you can see the animation is substantially better. Of course, that couldn't save it from being an utter abomination since they decided to include a new character, a giant octopus. So as you can imagine, being worse than that is no easy achievement, but this film achieved it, or de-achieved it, you could say. Once again, let me just reiterate how glad I am that it is over. If I had had to endure any more of that, I think I would have killed myself. Never before have I seen such a...
Wait a minute, where are you going? The movie isn't over yet. Don't you want to know what happened to everybody? Dressed in mourning, Gertrude Pickering is all broken up, though her tears are not tears of joy. And here we have the ecstatic newlyweds, Angelica and William, together with Mother Nanny Jenny, Victoria, to thank us for saving him. Our friend the ship's cook put us up at his new place of work, the kitchen of one of New York's fanciest restaurants,
which was shortly shut down by a health inspector when he found the place was overrun with vermin. Some exterminators were called in and the problem was resolved. I'm gonna skip the 12 minutes of credit that are on the feature because I'm out of time. Thank you, YouTube Time Straight. Thank you. I'm that Critic Kid, soon to be world-renowned and very famous.